had one right last
I
time.
did, because I
Okay.
ended up,
Oh.
you guys come up, I don't know if I
I
forward
had
it or.
okay,
cool.
Thank you. Sure. And then Jacobson.
Oh, thanks.
You're helping, right? You are amazing.
Oh, my God.
My husband will appreciate this again.
He
He loves these calendars.
Oh, good, good.
The other day, he said, we haven't gotten a calendar.
My
this
gosh,
year."
Oh, my gosh.
we got too many nice people around here.
We had so many nice people, and I'm not one of them. I was. I know.
Yeah, Scrooge was in my graduating class, and because of me, he got person most likely to succeed. We are close.
Hi.
You'll come after that. We have cookies.
Hi, how are you?
Good,
Good morning. Thank
Come in the
you.
boardroom after.
Okay, you got it.
Hey, Stan. Mr. Chairman. How are you, sir? Blue Kramer says hi. We had breakfast this morning. Oh, did you? Oh, good. I brought it. Hi, Sheila.
Good morning.
How are you? I brought some
Luke,
cookies.
your neighbor?
Yeah, he mentioned your name this morning. If we can go in the.
That's what I'm
Join the order of that, so I
And
brought
you know,
some
you
cookies
switch
for
for
you. Oh, jeez. Okay. With the
Way back
commission.
when.
Yeah. I really enjoy, a way of clarification, is this a town meeting or is this DABC? Yeah. Supposed to be DABC, right? Well, don't confuse me. Well, no, the governor had the town meeting scheduled at DABC this morning, 10:30. Oh. Well, we're okay. Didn't know that. And one of the reasons we're here in person today is because of you, because you'd already left. And we just were talking about making, because of the surge thing. Right. Yeah. There's that. I'm gonna make an announcement at first.
Email the store right now and go,
Yeah.
oh, how early can we show up?
We have Natalie, we gotta let Natalie know before 8 in the morning.
Sun is shining.
Have you got, Commissioner Orton and Commissioner Terrazon on?
Yes, Terry's on. Maybe a photo that I don't.
Yeah, because we're ready, so I know who we're here.
Commissioner Orton, have you joined us?
Yes.
Thank you.
That one could have been. I'm gonna call the December 2021 meeting of the Utah Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control, Commission meeting to order. First of all, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be given by Tom Gibbs.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have a couple of very important announcements to make for the record. First of all, beginning in January of 2022, we will be moving our meetings to the state office building located at 4315 South 2700 West. And Cade Meyer on his report will be giving a little bit more update on that. But please pass that along to any other interested parties that because of the fact we've outgrown this room, we are going to be moving down there. It's very easy to get there. It's quite accessible, lots of parking. So hopefully this will be an improvement in the workspace that we have for our meetings. The next announcement I need to make concerns surge days. This is a surge day, and one of the reasons that we did not go entirely virtual today is because we did not have the ability yesterday to inform everyone who would be interested in attending our meeting. And we also had one commissioner that had already left home to come to the meeting. But in the future, we want to assure everyone that we are going to be complying with the state rules with regard to surge days. And therefore, we ask that you check our website on Mondays prior to the meeting to see whether or not we will be compelled to meet virtually only. And in those events, obviously, we will be available virtually. The link will be posted, and all of you will have an opportunity to participate, be seen, be heard virtually. And we will also, at that point in time, make the public statement that we're required to make about virtual meetings. But because of the pandemic, as well as the fact that in winter here in Salt Lake, we don't necessarily have the best air quality, it becomes necessary for the state to declare surge days, and we will do our best to honor that by having meetings virtually in the event that our meeting date falls on a date that's been declared as a surge date. The next item is going to be the approval of the minutes of our commission meeting of November 30, 2021. I assume the commissioners have read the minutes. Is anyone willing to make a motion to accept the minutes?
We like poetry. I would move acceptance.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Parrish. Is there a second?
Agreed and seconded, Tenner.
Seconded by Commissioner Tennert. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I have some other announcements to make too, and that is that our proposed future meeting schedule for the first 2 months in 2022. Our first meeting will be Tuesday, January 25th, 2022, and again, that'll be at 4315 South 2700 West. And then in February, we will meet on February 22, 2022. So hopefully there'll be quite a few twos in that meeting. As far as our store hours go, it's we will be our state liquor stores will be closing on Friday at 6 p.m. and they will not reopen again until Monday morning. And then on Friday, December 31st, which is New Year's Eve, they will stay open an extra hour till 7 p.m. and again will not open until Monday, January 3rd. The DABC offices and warehouse will be closed on Friday, December 24th. They'll be closed on Friday, December 31st, and Monday, January 17th. Our liquor store will be closed on Saturday, December 25th, Saturday, January 1st, and Monday, January 17th. Those wishing to comment on this meeting may email to hotline@utah.com, and those comments will be addressed at the end of our meeting.
Chairman?
Yes.
I think you meant utah.gov.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't say that. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you. I need you to
Just
watch.
for those listening.
Yes, I need you to watch over me carefully.
Got it.
So, anyway, we want to move to the financial update. Sean, you want to take that for us, please?
Yes, thank you, Commissioners. We've reviewed the financials somewhat in the subcommittee meeting, and here what I have for you is I gave you 3 pages of the revenues. The first page, November only, and then as compared for the past 6 years, and then November year to date, and then that final long form Excel spreadsheet of all of the financials. So I'll give you a few highlights here. In that, while we didn't quite outpace fiscal year 2019's monthly November statistics, the year-to-date figures are actually much higher, with us being up over 16.5 million over last year at this time. It's 5 months worth of data in the fiscal year, 16.5 million. What have been our major contributors to some of the cost increases that you'll see in the financials, and I have those highlighted in green for you, are increased wages and benefits. Thanks to more stores coming online, but also some of the wage increases due to SB 137, increased real estate, lease and bond repayment expenditures due to bringing more stores online. Credit card fees, of course, are going to be a little higher this year than last, in lockstep with retail sales. Maintenance and repair has been a little bit higher this year, and we've also had transportation costs increase because of both contractual increases, but also some shortages in drivers, and also additional fuel surcharges that have had been paid. This year, what we anticipate so far is that we'll be returning to the general fund itself as a part of the liquor profit transfer, $51.6 million, which is a 7.2% increase over last year. And including sales taxes and all the other program transfers that we perform, we're actually going to be returning $88.6 million, or 40% of retail sales, to the general fund, local communities, and other programs, which for those being our shareholders, that's a pretty impressive return. Something that I'd like to draw your attention to, besides that $88.6 million figure, is if you look at the profitability trend chart, you'll see that November doesn't really call out. You see that the orange line for retail sales and the red line for cost of goods sold. You'll see that there is not much difference for November itself. What was brought up a few months ago, before the end of last fiscal year, was that cost of goods sold and retail sales were starting to too close, as in retail sales weren't keeping up with cost of goods sold. Well, in some of the economic pricing and other things that purchasing and some of our other operations have performed, we see on this second page, if you will, that's the November year-to-date, that line has started to go the opposite direction, which means we're starting to increase the spread between cost of goods sold and retail sales, which is really positive, meaning that we're both controlling costs and also increasing, what will end up being the net return to the general fund and our other programs. Does anyone have any questions on the financials?
I just want to clear up one thing. When
Sure.
you talk about our increase in costs, it sounds like you're talking about the things that every business is experiencing: transportation cost, fuel cost, labor cost,
Yes.
And supply chain issues.
Right.
Do we have any other costs that we are seeing which are not consistent with what other businesses are seeing? In other words, do we have any anomalies in costs that we have to work on?
Very few, and that's why I pointed those out, because those are both the largest 5 increases over the prior year. A lot of those were about 300,000 or higher above November of last year. But aside from that, no. And even with those increase in costs, we're still returning more to the general fund and other shareholders, if you will, than in years past. So that speaks to me of good cost control.
Not thank you, Sean, and thank you, Stan, for the work that you've been doing to shepherd all of this. I know you've been keeping a close, watchful eye on this and helping Sean out a lot. It's greatly appreciated. Also, Sean, I think we want to pass on to all the folks that you work with and that Kate works with to make this happen by being efficient workers in the warehouse and stores and also in keeping our costs down. Then we've been able to kind of brag a little bit that we're still making some pretty good money for the state.
It's a department-wide effort for sure.
All right, let's go to the Parents Empowered. Doug?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Happy holidays, Commissioners. Our Parents Empowered biannual parent survey is being fielded this week and into January. This is the underage drinking study that we do every 2 months to kind of gauge where parents are at, what their awareness and perceptions are about underage drinking. And so that should be completed by the end of January, and certainly we'll report out to the Commission on the results. Also, it's hard to believe that we're 6 months into our fiscal year. So what that tells us is that we're 6 months away from wrapping up our community partnership projects. And as I've mentioned to you in the past, these community projects are just that. We get into the local communities and promote underage drinking prevention messages. And so, yeah, we've got a lot of work to be done. I would like to mention just a couple of them to you today. The first one is South Davis. Last week, last Thursday, they held a little teaser launch. They're doing a larger project throughout the months ahead, but last Thursday they launched a free family skate night at their local rec ice rink. And they've got large banners, underage drinking prevention banners throughout their facility there. They also wrap the Zamboni ice machine with some messaging. And so great start to, an event out there that'll be happening in South Davis. And then the other event I'd like to talk about is Tooele. January 19th and 20th, they're going to be launching a Parents Empowered escape room. And this is kind of a repurposed escape room that we produced a few years back, but they're going to bring that back to life and have an event at their library where the plans are to lock up their local leaders and some families and community out there in this escape room and see if they can get out of it. But it'll be a fun event. I also want to mention at the library, they have a large window. It's just a complete wall of windows that we're going to wrap with Parents Empowered messaging. What it will be, it will depict the inside of a brain. And if you can kind of imagine, it kind of looks like a cosmic universe type of, view. But it's very colorful, and that'll be the backdrop. So within those windows, they'll have little thought bubbles talking about how alcohol can impact, a still developing adolescent brain. So it should be quite visually appealing as well as educational. So we're excited about that event. That's January 19th and 20th. And then, of course, in the months ahead, I'll be reporting out on all the many other community partnerships that are on the schedule. So with that, thank you, Commissioners, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Doug. Does anybody have any questions of Doug? I would just comment to you, Doug, on these lock 'em up things. When I was much younger, I was a president of a Kiwanis club, and they were doing this thing for a fundraiser, and they kidnapped me to lock me up, and then I think everybody banded together and said, look, let's not donate to this thing. Let's keep him in jail for a couple of days. Anyway, let's move along. On our violations, on our consent calendar, Sheila, I understand that we're pretty well taken care of there, right?
We are. We have 2 matters, 10 and 13, that we've asked to have stricken so that they can complete their training. But everything else is ready to go, and we recommend the Commission take action on them.
Okay. All right. Well, I will entertain a motion to accept the consent calendar, except for items number 10 and 13, which are stricken.
So moved. Tui.
by Commissioner Tui. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Randall. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Extended closure request. First of all, let's talk about milk. Mike?
Good morning, Commissioners. Milk, as you know, bought a license back in May, and they've been working expeditiously to get open. They've ran into several hurdles along the way. However, they are down to their final inspections from the city. They're nearly there. All construction is complete. It's just a matter of city inspections. We have Jeff here, who's one of the owners, and he can give you an updated timeline as to what they have left to do.
Jeff, would you come up to the podium and just state your name for the record, please?
My name is Jeff Slickta. I'm the co-owner of Milk.
Okay. Jeff, we are 1,000% empathetic with you. As you well know, there's a thing you can say today or do.
Exactly.
The 25th of December comes, and yes, you're going to be disappointed, but I assure you each one of us will be disappointed too. Is there anything we can do to help you?
I just appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to listen to where we're at, and hopefully what I have to share with you today, we appreciate your ongoing patience, the extensions you've provided to us. I only wish to make you aware of a few key points before your decision is rendered today to even extend us to the 25th. We did not anticipate being here today at all. Our last Salt Lake City building inspection occurred Friday, December 17th. With Jack Sundell. A handful of issues were identified by the city building inspector, and he has been by our side throughout the construction project. These were remedied. Our final inspection was scheduled for Monday to close all of our permits, get our certificate of occupancy, and obtain our business license. Unfortunately, one of our regular city building inspectors had surgery last Friday. Another is off on Monday, so we were greeted by two city building inspectors who had never stepped foot in Milk prior to yesterday. They made attempts to get in touch with our three regular Salt Lake City building inspectors, but weren't successful for the reasons I mentioned. Our only open items are fire alarm plans on premises, which are there today. CO2 sensors, because of the size of our venue, we needed to add two of those. The vendor's there today. And the hood puff test, because there was a relay issue. Troy, our regular Salt Lake City building inspector, will be there at 12:30 today. We've confirmed that with him this morning. Our strong belief and hope is these permits will be closed. We will have our C of O and business license in hand by noon tomorrow. I do want to take a moment to mention Mike Bishop. He has been absolutely outstanding in supporting us. He's been at Milk several times. He's taken videos, pictures. I know that he shared with all of you. Just been amazing partnership. Also want to mention that we've reached out to Tammy at the DABC to discuss our options to place an order to be able to stock Milk. And Brent spoke with her this morning, and she assured us she'll be able to help us with all of that. All of our pre-work for our business license is complete. Background check, zoning, police report, fire marshal walkthrough are all complete and checked off. And the only other thing I want to mention to the commission, we did not enter into this to simply open a bar and club. We will be making a monthly donation towards programs in Salt Lake City to support the LGBT youth suicide hotline, homelessness efforts, and ongoing counseling and mental support. Our request is that you allow the law to run its course. We'll keep Mike updated throughout the day today, with all eyes on being open by this Thursday, 2 days ahead of our last and final opportunity on Christmas Day. Thank you.
Any questions? Yes.
I just had one question, this is curiosity. Congratulations on all the hard work you've gone through. How'd you come up with the name Milk?
So that's a great question, Commissioner Parrish. Our address on 9th South is Harvey Milk Boulevard. And Harvey Milk was the gentleman who was killed in San Francisco, back in the 70s. So we kind of wanted to honor his legacy. Welcome.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah, Jeff, do you plan to be open on Christmas?
We will be open the minute we can.
I mean,
And I think there'll be some people who don't have a place to go, so
Love that.
absolutely, absolutely. For travelers that are in town, flight attendants, pilots.
well, there's your free advertising. There you
Thank you so
go.
much. We appreciate that very much.
Thank you for being here.
All right.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to extend to December 25th?
I'll make the motion to extend.
Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Parrish. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right,
Thank
good
you
luck.
very much.
Good luck. Let's talk about item B, the ruin. Erin?
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm happy to report the ruin was able to open last night and we can strike them from the agenda.
Thank you.
And-
Good news.
And then Martine, they are requesting a closure until February of 2022. They surrendered their license during COVID and reapplied. The application was granted on October 26th. They gave me the business license. They've been on approved closures, but they're having problems reopening due to staffing issues, so they need to get staffed up.
They need till February to do that?
With the holidays and then just everywhere having staffing issues, I think that's what they're requesting.
Okay. All right.
And staff would recommend approval.
Any questions for Erin or the applicant? Not, do I have a motion?
Chairman, could I just ask how long have they been on the list?
How long have they been on extension?
Yes.
They were closed on October, or were awarded their license on October 26th. They haven't been able to reopen. I can approve up to 90 days, but the 90 days, up until the January commission, but it would make it 92. That's why we're going ahead and.
So it was October of 2021.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, do I have a motion to extend Martine until February 2022 meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tui. Is there a second?
Second, Orton.
Randall? Sorry about that, Commissioner Orton.
You're okay.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, Wasu.
Okay, Waso is doing a major remodel. They've been closed since April 19th of 2021. They're changing their whole concept. They're having supply chain issues, having staff issues, labor shortages, and they would just like to make a business decision to slow down the process. They're requesting until June of 2022. Staff would recommend approval.
And they have a restaurant license. Any questions from any of the commissioners? That's a long way out. Is it because there's some reason they can't get this thing done in 6 months that we don't know about? Or is it their decision that they're just trying to space it out until the summer season starts in Park City?
Well, that too, the mud season. So they would like to, instead of just trying to speed up the process, just take their time, do it right, and ask until June. They have 7 other restaurants up in Park City. They're great operators. We have enough restaurant licenses. They would surrender, but then they would have to reapply. They would have more fees to pay. And then they would have to turn around and renew after they just applied. So it would cost a lot more. So it just be better to have that closure. And Mike is here if you would like to speak with him.
I don't need to hear from them. Do you? Any of the commissioners want to hear from them?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we extend WASO until the June 2022 meeting.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Tui. Is there a second? Jackie Orton, Commissioner Orton, you want a second?
Sure, I'll second.
Since I cut you off last time, I'm sorry. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, the next item is under canvas, and that's yours, Abe.
Good morning, Commissioners. Under Canvas in Big Water requested a 90-day closure, which expires January 29th. They plan on opening March 10th, but I put them on this agenda just in case anything changed in January.
Okay.
So they're requesting additional time, so requesting till the March Commission meeting, but they should be open March 10th.
All right. Any questions from the Commission? Not, I'll entertain a motion to extend under Canvas until the March 2022 meeting. Moved by Commissioner Parrish. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Randall. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Passes. Number 9A, Riveridge Beverage Company, Park City.
This individual has been a local industry rep for many, many years. He has left that company and is opening his own. And so the application is complete and staff recommends approval.
Any questions from the? I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tui. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Tennant. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carries. Educational permit applicant, the Cocktail Collective. Abe?
Okay, the Cocktail Collective, they do have a facility in the Art Place, which is between 7th and 8th South on 4th West, and they'll be teaching all about cocktails. And there's no issue with proximity in that location. I visited it, it's good. And then she will be teaching these classes in different places, private homes or conferences and that. Would you like me to read her credentials for this?
If staff's recommending approval, I don't know we need.
Staff recommends approval. Application is complete.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I move for approval of Cocktail Collective for educational permits.
Moved by Commissioner Tui. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Parrish. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next, Jeff, we have the manufacturer distillery applicant, Proverbial Spirits, Park City.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have Proverbial, and like I said, in Park City. They are a small batch brewer. Their intent is to make product distillates for their package agency and then also local licensees. Application's complete. Staff recommends approval.
Okay. Any questions? Not, I'll accept a motion to approve Proverbial Spirits.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tui. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Randall. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Carries. License renewals. Chris?
Morning. This list of all of our manufacturer breweries, service, rep, they're all complete and everything, staff recommends approval.
Questions from any of the commissioners? If not, I'll take a motion to approve the license renewals.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Parrish. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Tennant. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carries. All right, off-premise beer retailer applicant. Stephanie?
Good morning, Commissioners. I have 11 applications for off-premise beer retailers. They are all complete. None of them are conditional, and staff recommends approval. And on a side note, the off-premise beer will be going into a renewal period in January. All of these applicants have been notified that they will have to renew in January.
Any questions from any of the commissioners? If not, I'll accept a motion to approve the off-premise beer retailer applicants, 1 through 11. Right, moved by Commissioner Tennant. Is there a second?
Second, Tui.
Seconded by Commissioner Tui. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, license applicants. First, we'll start with Margaret and the license transfer applications for the full transfers.
Good morning. We have a short list today. The Royal Thai Cuisine on a full transfer is a limited restaurant in Washington, transferring its license along with all real estate and assets of the business. It's staying in the same location. All statutory requirements have been met, and staff would recommend approval on that one. Number 2, St. Helens and Restaurant in Washington also, transferring their license along. It's also remaining the same location. It is conditional, otherwise complete. Staff would recommend approval on both of these.
Questions from the commission? Not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the full transfers 1 and 2, Royal Thai Cuisine and St. Helens.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tui. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Parrish. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Okay. 51% ownership changes.
Okay, Uinta Brewing Company is restructuring their ownership of a parent entity. The businesses will continue to run at the same address, same managers, etc. It is complete, and staff would recommend approval. And Button Up Holdings is restructuring the ownership of their entity. Again, the business will continue to run at the same address with the same managers, entities. I mean, everything is the same. And staff would recommend approval of both of those.
Does anyone have any questions about items 1 and 2?
Is Button Up related at all to Button Down?
They're not related.
They're not related.
There was some issue at one point in time about there was a lawsuit and there was some claims of respective ownership and all that. Has that been cleared up?
The issues with that is they may have some other issues ongoing, but at this particular time, all the statutory requirements have been met for this particular thing. So what happens in the future, I can't say, but they are complete. So
from what your review, all the statutory requirements have been met. All the owners are clear to be owners. There's no outstanding issues of violations or anything.
They have met all the requirements.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? I need a motion then to approve items 1 and 2 of the 51% ownership changes.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tui. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Randall. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, we move on to bar establishment applicants. Dan.
Morning, Commissioners. So currently we have one bar license that is available for this commission meeting. If you were going to look at the bar factors, looking at the snapshot, Fenice Mediterranean Bistro, they're going to be surrendering their current restaurant license that they're operating now for the bar license. Wasatch Loft and Tap Room, they also have a full restaurant license downstairs, but you also issued a winter seasonal license last commission meeting, so they're operating that license upstairs. And they're still in line for a full bar license. Crawling Wing Company in Taylorsville, they will be operating as a dual license as well. They're currently operating as a full restaurant, and they're just waiting on the bar license. The Pearl, talking to the applicant yesterday, they're indicating that they are ready, that they have staff trained, and they're ready to go and ready to open. However, I did go do an inspection yesterday, and we can go over that if you'd like more information.
Yeah, I'd like you to go over that, please.
Okay. Speaking with the applicant, just for the record, he does meet statutory requirements for receiving a bar license. However, there's my observations are they're limited on what the items are a bar would need to function properly. And that would be, for example, the beer fridge has not yet been put into place. The beer lines have not been connected from the beer fridge to the taps. There's limited glassware in the facility. There's no bar back supplies, and the bar countertop stools have not been, I don't believe they've been purchased, but they're not in place at the facility. So that's just a few of the items that I observed while I was speaking with the applicant yesterday. So given the recent visit, I really didn't find any evidence that this applicant would be ready to open and operate once given the bar license today.
All right. The other one that's on here is Garage Grill, to be open in December.
Correct. That has been updated. We spoke to Jeremy yesterday, and the opening date, my understanding, would be January 15th.
And then I believe the other one that would, then we get into the January ones. From your observations, are any of the ones that are set there in January appear to be, where do they stand? For instance, like you've got the Green Room, the Proper Brewing, and Moab, and so on.
Okay, so Proper Brewing is, they've pushed out their opening date to summer of 2022. Durango Bar, there's still some issues waiting on the city for the rezoning to allow a bar license to be at that area or in that facility. I believe they're still applying for a tavern license as well. Do they already have? Okay, my apologies. They do have a tavern license. And then the Green Room, they are still projecting opening February 2022. And as I'd mentioned earlier in other meetings, each applicant had been contacted via email last Thursday for an update on pictures of when they're planning on opening, and there's only been a handful of response. And the Green Room and Durango are the two that did not respond.
All right. So from your observations, there is really nobody who's ready to open at this particular point in time.
That is correct.
All right. Yeah, we know you're here. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, the committee met yesterday, too, did you not, Commissioner Toohey?
Yes, we did.
And as a result of what you did yesterday, did you have a recommendation?
Yeah. First off, let me start by saying this is definitely not my personal preference to make this type of recommendation, but based on our recent experiences with granting bar licenses and then bars not opening, the only control we have is to hold on to a bar license and then grant it when someone's actually ready to open. So that is going to be our committee's recommendation today, is to hold on to the bar license and not grant it today. All right.
I would like to give the Pearl an opportunity to speak, if you'd like to.
I'd second that motion first.
Oh.
So that was, it wasn't stated in a motion, but I will make that after we hear from everyone. Commissioner Parrish.
All right, I want to give Pearl a chance to.
Mr. Chair, before we hear from Pearl, may I just ask like a data question? I just want to ask a data question.
Oh, sure.
Okay, yeah, thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you for just giving me a minute. So just kind of a procedural data question as I'm trying to understand the factors that we're considering. That if we look under license demand, for example, Trolley Wing Company in Taylorsville, it shows 2 other bars in the same zip code in Taylorsville, and that's coded in yellow. And then Garage Grill shows 1 license in the zip code in Harriman, and that's coded in green. And can we just get a little information about kind of how staff is thinking about underserved and the number of bars in the zip code? Just I get, I mean, there are other factors at play, and I'm happy to discuss them at a later date. But I get the difference between 35 and 1. But I'm trying to kind of reconcile the 2 versus 1. One being underserved and the other not.
So are you referring to the way it's been color coded?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm reading the color code yellow, 2 other bars and 1 zip code in Taylorsville. I'm seeing that as maybe it's reading color not as underserved.
Correct, I mean,
Tanner,
Yeah.
if you will note, later on the agenda, Trolley Wind Company does have another license that they own, the bar license that they can move.
No, but my question is just about like an underserved area and how we classify underserved areas. Is it kind of, I mean, is it just kind of qualitative? And I'm okay with that. Is it just kind of like a qualitative judgment? Yeah. Okay. Subjective. Okay. It is. That's actually, that's helpful. I'm just kind of thinking about this and I want to think about it more, and so just kind of understanding.
All right. Pearl, you guys want to come on up and?
Happy holidays. So in regards to what Dan was saying, while yes, the beer taps have not been installed yet, that is a pretty quick process and is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. However, if you gave us a license today, I would go buy alcohol and be able to operate immediately. Granted, yes, again, like I said, we don't have beer taps, but we would have fridges and be able to get those, you know, be able to sell bottled beer and canned beer and stuff like that. And we do have glassware. We do have furniture. We have tables, benches, everything installed. We have a walk-in cooler ready to go. Bergs, all tips and tips, management, staff, all ready, so.
Will you please state your name for the record?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Jacob Hall.
Mr. Hall, the problem I'm having, you're telling me I've got furniture, you've got everything, and yet staff is telling us, I haven't been to your establishment, so I don't know. But
You want to go?
they're
Let's
telling us
go.
He didn't see that there yesterday.
I'm sorry?
He said he didn't see that there yesterday, so we're getting a discrepancy between what you're telling us and what our staff is telling us. And that kind of concerns me a little bit. Why is it when Dan went out there yesterday that this stuff wasn't done?
Commissioner, if I may, the pictures that Dan took yesterday do show some tables and chairs. However, there are no bar stools.
Right.
And he was told by the applicant that they intended to finish the surface of the bar counter. It's raw wood, I believe. I was there
It's not right, it just needs one more little stain on it.
In any event, so there are tables and chairs, but no bar stools and the other items that Dan mentioned.
And I don't mean to be annoying, but I don't believe bar stools are a necessary thing to get a liquor license, specifically when we already have our business license.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what our issue is we've now been hoodwinked a few times in the past year, okay?
I get that.
And so when staff goes out and they don't see that you're actually look like a establishment that's ready to open and it's fully ready to go, and they report back to us you don't have bar stools, and there were some other issues with regard to alcohol on premises and things like that, I mean, we have to take that at face value, okay?
Sure.
So, but anyway, I don't mean to interrupt you if there's anything else that you'd like to tell us.
Excuse me, can you come and state your name at the microphone?
You have to state your name, please.
Thank you.
My name is Michael Haskell, and I'm a partner of theirs. The recommendation for the commission is to hold the license until January. I totally understand your position, license. For that commission meeting.
What would
Excuse
help?
me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but he's not standing in front of the microphone, and so those of us online can't hear anything he's saying.
I apologize. My question was just that would it help to bring visual aids? Commissioner Jacobson was just about to respond to that.
Yes, what would help is really that when Dan goes out and makes an inspection, that everything is in place, that he can see that and he can report back to us. Dan will take pictures if necessary, but you are more than welcome to present anything you'd like as pictures or other material at the January meeting if that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to be clear and make sure we can bring anything to the table.
Oh, absolutely, sir.
So, thank you.
Absolutely.
One last thing I do want to add. It is a very difficult chess game to have to play as far as licensing goes and like expecting a license. I mean, I know you guys know this, but you know, as far as like having everything ready to go, we have to pay rent as well on top of that and insurance. So yes, we do have everything and we can open, but again, like I said, we have to time things appropriately depending on when the license is available. So, you know, as far as anything goes, like not having the stools in or, you know, the fridges in the right place, I mean, that's, we're playing the same chess game you guys are, so.
Right. Well, I want you to know, and everybody else to know, that one of the things that we communicate with the legislature about is this issue of the fact that the way things are set up now, bar licenses are issued and taken off the shelf, if you will,
right,
when you are fully ready. And we do understand you're paying rent. You've made a lot of tenant improvements. You've had a lot of other investments you've had to make in personnel and other resources. And we fully understand that. And that's one of the things that we've communicated to the state legislature about. Right. And hopefully one of these days we will maybe have a better solution in place.
I hope so. I think we all do. But thank you guys. Appreciate it. Happy holidays again.
Okay. Do I have a motion from the commission?
Mr. Chairman?
Oh,
Yeah, the motion would be, actually to move on in the agenda.
Right. So we'll move on then to
I don't know if that requires a motion.
No, it doesn't. If we have no motion with regard to item B, it'll die for lack of a motion, and we'll have one bar license in January. At least one bar license in January. Then with regard to item C, full-service restaurant applicants, Rob?
All right, so for the full-service restaurant licenses, we have 56 licenses available for the entire state. First one on our list is Olive Garden. This was a previous applicant. So you heard from them last month. They have the violation history, and they should have a representative here to address.
Zach, what we did, if I recall correctly, Rob, is we did put this off a month so that we could get a report back from staff as well as Olive Garden as to what has been done to address the issue that gave rise to this violation.
So staff did go out and do a training at the location that did have the most recent violation. So they did do a training there for their staff.
Okay. Are you satisfied that staff's properly trained and that they understand the underlying issue?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. So are you recommending approval with regard to that?
Yes.
All right. Normally, we need to hear from the Olive Garden on these violations. Anybody hear from Olive Garden? Yeah. Do you want to just come up briefly and... That was the other issue, too. Commissioner Parrish has pointed out to me, your projected opening is August?
Yes.
Have you started building? No.
The still would be conditional.
Yeah.
Final inspection and business license.
All right. Gentlemen, I understand that you've worked with staff for the last month or so. Do you have any questions of us, or is there anything else that we need to know about?
No, I think we answered most of them on the last one. So unless you have any more questions.
No, the only thing is that I will note for you, and I'm not trying to be hypercritical or anything, but since I've been on the commission, Olive Garden has come up more than once, okay, with violations and issues at different locations. And that, I think, is one of our concerns, is that there's something endemic. I realize you're a chain and you have lots of people and people rotate out and lots of problems, but we've seen several violations from Olive Garden. I'd like to implore you to understand that you can't do business in Utah the same way you do business in California, as you can't do business in California the same way you do in Maine or any other place. But that it does seem to come up, this issue, every once in a while, of an Olive Garden that's serving to a minor or committing some other violation. And that concerns us a little bit.
Well, and that's where, you know, we implemented a lot of steps to for every day that we go through that process to ensure that we remind our staff their responsibility to serve alcohol. So, and it's pretty intensive, like we spoke about last time. Every day they sign an agreement. They recognize the date. They have scanners available. They have everything available. If they choose not to, we audit, we terminate. We've terminated many team members without a violation. It's just that they didn't do what we asked them. terminated another one last week.
Any other questions from the commission? Understanding that this, of course, this restaurant license will be on the shelf and not being used until at least August.
So will you state your name for the record?
Ken Little, Director of Operations. You bet.
All right, do I have a motion to approve Olive Garden then?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Approved by Commissioner Tui and seconded by Commissioner Tenert. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Good luck.
Happy holidays.
All right, new applicants. We have, Rob, looks like we've got 6 new applicants. Number 7 stricken, right?
Yeah, 7 is stricken, that's correct.
Anything we need to know about those?
Kona Grill is not opening till March. Lee's Mongolian is no longer conditional. Tin Roof Grill has a violation history, but it's over a year old.
We don't need to hear from them, do we?
Correct.
Do we?
Staff recommends approval on all of these.
We started with 56. We now have 55. Do I have a motion to approve items number 1 through 6 with items 2, 3, 4?
4 is not conditional.
Oh, 4 is not conditional. 5 is conditional, right?
Correct, 5
So
and
items
6.
2, 3, 5, and 6 as conditional. No, that's not conditional either, is it?
6 is conditional.
Okay, 6 is conditional. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tui. Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Commissioner Parrish. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A limited service applicant. Nicole?
Good morning, Commissioners. Nicole's out, and I will be taking care of this for her. First off, we have item 2, the French spot. It is to be stricken and carried over to January. And of the remaining 5, we have Little India, which is ready to go, and Joey's, which is ready to go, not conditional. And then we have New Nawab's Indian Restaurant is conditional. Hill's Kitchen in Park City is conditional, and Soma at the Front is conditional. Applications are complete. Staff recommends approval.
Okay. Any questions from the commission? I'll accept a motion to approve numbers 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with items 3, 4, and 6 being conditional.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tui. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Parrish. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Moving to item E, Jeff, we'll let you take those two, the package agency applicants.
We have Proverbial Spirits up in Park City. They were part of the manufacturing license that we approved earlier. And we have Uinta Brewing, which was part of the transfer application that Margaret was working on. Applications are complete and staff recommends approval.
Okay, any questions from the commission? I'll accept a motion to approve items number 1 and 2 on the package agency applicants. Moved by Commissioner Parrish. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Randall. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Item 15, transfer of location requests. Rob, you've got Sakura Japanese Steakhouse.
Yes, Sakura Japanese Steakhouse in St. George. They are moving across the street and down a block with their full restaurant license. It is conditional. Still need the business license. St. George City says they'll have it to us today when we approve ours, so staff recommends approval.
Okay. All right, any questions from the commission? Okay, do I have a motion to approve Sakura Japanese Steakhouse and Sushi moving?
So, and I'll second, Tui.
Moved by Commissioner Parrish and seconded by Commissioner Tui. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, moving to item C, Maxwell's East Coast Eatery. It's a bar. Craig?
Yeah, good morning. Maxwell's East Coast Eatery, requesting to move from their location at 9 Exchange Place. They have a new location at 328 West, 200 South in Salt Lake City.
Any questions from the commission? I'll accept a motion to approve, the transfer of location on Maxwell's East Coast Eatery.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tui. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Parrish. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next is the Trolley Wing Company, Aaron. It's a bar license.
Would like to move their bar license from 602 East, 500 South, which is located in the trolley car in Salt Lake City, to 5418 South, 1900 West in Taylorsville. It meets all statutory requirements, and staff recommends approval.
Does that mean they'd be surrendering their, restaurant license?
Our license.
No, they have a restaurant license.
It's dual. It will be dual licensed.
Huh?
They will have both.
They'll have a dual license?
Yes.
Okay. Just didn't see whether any questions from the commission?
Mr. Chair, I'm just wondering if you know if the company has plans to apply for a restaurant license for that location, or if they'll be.
They already have one.
Okay, they are, for the one at Trolley
For-
Square, they already have a restaurant license there?
For trolley, they would like to reapply for a bar down the road.
Okay, all right,
And
great.
maybe a seasonal one for the summer.
Great, thanks for that clarification.
Any other questions from the commission? So I just want to make it clear, they're going to have a dual license in Taylorsville then if we approve it.
That's correct.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I would like to make that motion, but I just would like to say that I think that, the owners of that establishment made a really good case for being dual licensees, and I appreciated, kind of their business model and some of the challenges they were facing. So, I move that we approve this, license transfer.
Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Randall. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, Steve Steakhouse. Mike?
Morning again, Commissioners. Steve's Steakhouse in Richfield. They are a full-service restaurant. They are moving from 510 South Main Street in Richfield to 1170 South College Avenue in Richfield. So they're just moving across town. They meet the statutory requirements, and staff recommends approval.
Okay. Questions from the commission? Not, to accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Tui. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Parrish. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right. Operations update. Tiffany Clausen, Kate Meyer.
Good morning, Commission. I just wanted to thank all of you who have either worked in stores. I know Commissioner Orton and I worked at one of our stores, and several of you have already done some shifts in stores, and some of you are scheduled to do some stores actually today after the meeting. And so I just wanted to say thank you. I know it's been well received, and I think in terms of just having extra help, many hands make lighter load or lighter work, and so that's been really great. And I also think it's been great for staff just in general to see an engaged commission and interested in their work. Obviously, some of the obstacles or challenges that come with that work, and then also some of the positives, right, and benefits that come with that work and how rewarding it is. So just wanted to say thank you for all of that. And then I wanted to take the opportunity to also say thank you to some of our administrative staff and our management team who also have been working in stores and do that, anytime we have like a peak holiday, be it upcoming, Memorial Day or some other holiday where we have peak retail activity, they never hesitate to pitch in and help. And so I just really wanted to say thank you in a public way to all of them for that hard work. They'll continue to contribute and work shifts through New Year's. So thank you all for that. A couple of items of interest. We are starting our multi-year strategic plan. We have a vendor hired and secured, and in the governor's transition report, one of the sort of reoccurring themes or points of interest was that the DABC needed to have a strategic plan, but also that it should have a strategic plan that was created collaboratively with all of the folks that we share the space with. So stakeholders that we interact with, licensees, customers in our retail environment, prevention education, SBI, et cetera. So those interviews, the company that's helping us put this multi-year strategic plan together has already scheduled those interviews. They are not only interviewing external folks for collaborative input, but also looking inwardly as well, which is really great. So looking at various aspects of our operations to see what sort of recommendations they want to make as we continue to put this multi-year strategic plan together. And so we hope to have a deliverable, which of course we'll share with all of you, and of course share with the public by about February or March, so within Q1 of 2022. Also important, because the governor's transition report also noted that it wasn't really clear how the DABC measured itself. And of course, we do measure ourselves. We have performance metrics, et cetera. But I think one of the really important things about the strategic plan is it will have identifiable metrics, again, that have been built collaboratively to kind of help hold us accountable. So we're really excited about that project and wanted to mention it here. We also are really excited about the governor's budget that was released last week. Some really, really exciting things in the governor's budget recommendations. We had 9 business cases that we submitted. 7 were prioritized. There was really a theme for us moving into this budget cycle on innovation and customer service. And I won't belabor and go into detail for every business case, although many of us that are sitting here love to geek out about the business cases, and everyone at all levels worked really hard to put these together. So they're kind of like our children. We're very proud of them. But we'll just top line, if I could name them quickly, I think that would be great. Our first one is the compliance IT infrastructure business case. Many of you know and hear regularly about how paper-based we are, especially in our compliance operations. This business case, if funded, would digitize those online application processes, help create better communication channels, not only internally, but internally and externally as well, and also create and provide an online payment portal. So folks that are mailing in paper checks, money orders, and or driving them up here from Richfield or Moab or wherever because they don't trust putting those paper methods in the mail to get here on time, those now would be, if funded, online. And of course, that is an efficiency not only for us internally and all of the different hands that have to touch that, from compliance staff to accounting, Sean's staff, but it is an external efficiency as well. So for every 5 minutes that we can save a licensee, a small business owner, from having to interface with outdated platforms, right, to complete that application or payment, that's 5 minutes they can be back in their bar, restaurant, or hotel, creating jobs, serving people, and being a value add to the community. So we're really excited about that. Click and collect, buy online, pick up in store. This is a business case that would fund basically a pilot or a phase 1 of us executing click and collect. So this would be an e-commerce component to our retail operations, where you could go online, basically like you do at Smith's or anywhere else, order what you'd like, whatever products that you'd like. Someone will pick it, put it together for you, and you can go collect it. So we think that that is a great value add for our customers, very convenient, and it's a really great service for us to be able to provide. The third is the retail store infrastructure. This will help give our retail stores the technological upgrades they need to operate in 2022. Stuff like wireless infrastructure for our stores. Not all of our stores have wireless capabilities. You may go to any other retailer and they have little iPhones where they're able to update inventory, replenishment, et cetera. Those things don't work if you don't have wireless infrastructure to begin with, right? So it's not only for the infrastructure that we need, but it's also for then tools that rely on that infrastructure. We believe that that will create an efficiency for our staff and a convenience for our staff, but ultimately will be a return on investment and an efficiency and value add for our retail customer, right, who might need help picking out a product or needing to ask questions of our retail staff. Roving Team, which you've heard reported about, it is an innovation developed by several team members that are sitting here with me now. We all know that every industry is experiencing staffing issues, including many in our service industry that are sitting here. This roving team has been really great about every day being able to be nimble and go to a retail location that has developed a need, even if it's been overnight. It's been incredible to see them work, to see this executed, and we're so excited that this has been prioritized because we would like to this permanently funded so that we can continue with this roving team moving forward. We have a pop-up store, a targeted event pop-up store. This relates to the NBA All-Star Games that are coming up in February of 2023. Many folks that are in the service industry, tourism industry, and sports recreation industry all know the significant, hopefully positive impact this event will have for a multitude of days, right? Basically, a stretch of about 2 weeks. It's really a great opportunity to showcase Utah, just as we did, obviously, in the 2002 Olympics. And so what we realized is for that footprint where all of these visitors will be, we don't necessarily have adequate retail store infrastructure to support that influx of customers. So because we want to showcase Utah really well, because we want these visitors to have a great experience, this would be for pop-up locations in that footprint area. So kind of think like a Spirit Halloween store that you see that kind of comes up right before Halloween and then goes down. It would be a brick and mortar location where we're able to have products and beverages available for folks to take back to their hotel, Airbnb, or whatever it is that they're doing. It also, we hope, will relieve pressure on our existing retail stores for our licensee community. So thinking that those stores that are in that downtown footprint area, they will be able to service our licensees, and these pop-up stores will be able to better service our visitors. So that's what that budget recommendation is for. We're hopeful that it will move forward. The last two are very easy. They're an increase in our store security, so our stores and employees and our customers who visit those stores can be safe and secure, as well as an adjustment to fleet. So having said that, we're excited about the new year ahead. We'll be continuing to work on some things related to our relationship with all of our customers. So stay tuned on some of those improvements. We'll report about them next month. Kate has some updates as well.
Thank you, Tiffany. Commissioners, just want to also update you on a few items. Obviously, this is our busy season. We're knee-deep in having a lot of fun with a lot of customers coming through our stores, and just wanted to report our supply chain continues to move forward. We're currently holding at a 92.6% in-stock ratio. So of our general listed items, which is totaling about 2,560 items, we have 189 items that we are out of stock of as of yesterday. Those items are for a number of reasons. They could be, as you know, shipping issues. Maybe there's unavailability of the needed core supplies to manufacture those items, or simply related to the pandemic. So we continue to chase after all leads we can to get those items in stock. I did want to also mention that we appreciate all of our customers who are shopping early this holiday season, and all those who have given us a tremendous amount of patience. As we move through this situation, it's so nice to work with some of the great people out there and all the great things they're doing for us. And I, too, wanted to echo our appreciation of your support in our stores as well. Grateful for that opportunity to see you out there. And I know our employees appreciate it, and they love hearing from you as well. So grateful for that effort you've made there as well. I'd like to also thank our vendors. We have vendors who are partners in business. They also help in our stores during this busy time. And when I mean help, they're out there moving boxes and stocking shelves, really a great asset to us. So I'm grateful for each and every one of them who go out and do that hard work. But most importantly, I also want to just thank our store and warehouse staff for all their hard work. Obviously, there's some support from admin, but the warehouse and the stores at this time are just taxed beyond belief, and we're grateful for all that they do. And as you know, we are continuing to seek more competitive pay to reward that continued hard work. They pick up extra shifts, they stay late, they come in early, all in an effort to try and stock and do everything we can to keep those stores up and moving. wanted to mention just a few things about the move that we're moving this meeting to, having our home base at the TSOB building. That's the Taylorsville State Office Building. Again, that address was 4315 South, 2700 West. As our chair mentioned today, the reasons, though, and the benefits of this new facility I just wanted to include, one is there is continued on-site security at the building. There's improved technology within the room we will be meeting, and most importantly, the seating capacity will be increased as well. We did have a chance to visit the site, take a look at it. Thank you to Commissioner Jacobson for coming with us. We appreciate that. We do feel like this would be a nice facility in which we can conduct this business when we have time, or when we make that move in January. So there'll be a little bit of technology upgrade, which we're really excited about. Some small training if necessary, but it's pretty easy and should be less of a burden on staff in that facility. Just to make sure everybody knows, though, that the future meeting will still be a hybrid meeting. So you can join online, you can join in person, and there's just more of an opportunity for those who want to join in person to have, the capacity to handle that. Finally, just wanted to mention one last thing, which is very exciting for us. There is store number 3. That's the one on Redwood Road and about 3381 South. That store will be relocating, still in West Valley, to 5432 West High Market Drive. This is right off of 5600 West. There is a Target there, and we're on the other end of the Target. There's a movie theater nearby. There's obviously other businesses. This is a great store. It'll provide for future growth of the needs that we're foreseeing, and it'll also modernize the store quite a bit. So we're grateful for that, and should serve West Valley City for the next decade or so as we move forward with increased growth. That will happen next month, so we're excited about that. Probably leaning toward the end of the month as we bring that store up and online. Grateful for all the hard work that has been done on that, and appreciate the builders, appreciate DFCM, who's been working with us so close as a project manager, and we're really grateful for staff helping in that regard as well. And with that, that concludes my report.
Okay, anybody have any questions of staff? If not, we'll move to our comments from the commissioners of the public. First of all, the commissioners have any comments?
Mr. Chairman, I wanted to just say one thing, and that is just a note on bar licenses. As a chairperson of the compliance subcommittee, I feel like I've found myself in maybe the czar of bar licenses position, which I didn't realize I was stepping into.
Czar of the bar.
And in that role, I do feel, that because we held back the license today, I do want to just be very transparent about the situation we're in. I think before I said that it's a dire situation, and I wanted to illustrate that. And, one of the reasons we decided to hold back the license today was because of the population numbers. We're not expecting to get another license until February, and then not another one until May. And so looking at our pipeline of applicants, we're going to have to be a lot more cognizant, I think, maybe than we have been in the past about when we're granting a bar license. We want that licensee, the applicant, to be ready to open without any obstructions possible. And we understand things come up outside of people's control and are sympathetic to that. However, as stewards of these licenses for the state, we're going to have to be much more stringent on when we're granting a bar license, really holding, people responsible for statements they've made to the commission about when they know they're going to be ready to open and have that reassurance. So I just wanted to make that comment and illustrate to folks here in the room about sort of the pressure that we're under as a commission with the lack of bar licenses that we've been granted to work with, and would again urge you to contact your legislator if that's an issue for you as well. Thank you.
Yes, and I think people don't realize, but we have in our alcohol working group through other means, we have communicated with the legislature about this issue. It's been communicated, and though we are in a position where, we're not supposed to be advocates, I think the one thing we have been able to do is we've been able to bring to the attention of the legislature that we have a very significant demand for bar licenses, and that we have been placed in the untenable position of having as many as 15 applicants and having one or no licenses. And so right now, for the first half of 2022, we are looking at having 2 licenses available unless some changes are made by the legislature. And I think folks have to understand that this is a difficult process that Commissioner Tui and her committee go through, first of all, in looking at every possible distinction between the licenses, everything from where the license is going to be placed to how many people it will serve, to history of the operator, to a wide variety of variants. And none of it, unfortunately, is scientific, but everybody here is trying to do the best they can, and I hope I speak for everybody in saying probably the most frustrating thing we have when leaving these meetings is the fact that we only could award one license, or as the case would be today, we passed, and we're going to wait till January and see what the situation is in January. And hopefully maybe by the middle of the year, the legislature will have come up with some kind of a program to address this issue. Any other comments from the commissioners?
I would just like to second, I would just like to second what Commissioner Tui said. And I want to add that, and she referenced this earlier as well, but we are very much aware of the constraints and the problems that it puts on business owners not to get a license when they were expecting to have the license and be able to open. And I want everyone to understand that we are, I'm a former small business owner, of a retail establishment, and I'm a small business owner now. And I just want to reiterate the fact that when we make a decision like this, we don't make it lightly. It was, a lot of hand wringing and discussion that we have gone through to reach this decision. And I just wanted to reiterate that we are very much aware, and there are very clear reasons why we would reach a decision not to give the bar license when, I know that there are several bars who feel like we are putting them in a bad situation where, they're having to pay another month of rent or whatever, but we need to know from the business owners and our staff that you really are available and ready and, prepared to open the next day, because we just have so few opportunities to we had so few options as far as bar licenses are concerned. So I just wanted to make it clear, we do understand the plight that all of you are under, and we're hoping that this will ease as time goes on, and we're hoping that we'll have more bar licenses available to us.
Thank you, Commissioner Orton, and thank you for the concern that you've been showing over the last several months with this issue. Are there any other comments? Any comments from the public? Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Tui, for that excellent segue to my public comment. I appreciate that very much. Good morning, commissioners, staff, members of the public, and especially to our legislators who may hear this message. My name is Tim Ryan, co-owner of About Time Pub and Grub, a locally owned chain of sports bars serving 15 locations in Utah and Colorado. I'm here today to ask that our legislature increase the number of bar and restaurant licenses to more closely match the demand of our economic sector. I strongly encourage the legislature to listen to the voices of our DABC partners, our state and local trade organizations, my fellow entrepreneurs, and the communities we serve. These voices are affirming their support for additional licenses through their respective public statements, support for tourism and economic growth, capital investment in facilities and labor, and grants of local consent to serve alcohol in their communities. We ask that the legislature let the free market respond to natural economic forces while maintaining appropriate regulation for the responsible sale and service of alcohol. These things will marry in such a way as to promote a healthy economy, serve our community need, and maintain public health and safety. Please increase the number of licenses available to reflect the needs and demands of your business, community, and public constituents. I want to thank the DABC. I appreciate what I interpret to be your support of an increase in licenses. We thank you very much for that. I would also like to mention, on a side note, that we did, in the past 7 days, my 13 Utah locations have experienced 5 covert undercover buyer operations, sting operations in our stores. All 5 passed successfully. So I just use that to let you know that we are working hard to also practice what we preach here. So I thank you very much. Glad that you will be the czar of bar. I'm thinking now perhaps I could be the prince of bar. Not sure. I wish you all a very happy holiday, safe New Year. Thank you.
All right. Do we have any other public comments? I will make one public comment, Mr. Ryan. I think what our job is we bring to the attention of the public and the legislature what we see. But as the commission and as part of the department, we have to remain neutral in connection with any decision that the legislature considers. We just provide them with information. Thank you for your information. I'm sure the legislature will consider it. Other comments? If not, I'll accept a motion to adjourn. Well, Dale's relaxing. No, we're going. No, I'll even make the motion so we can go home and go. You folks can celebrate the holidays. We're adjourned.
Thank you. Great job. All the things that we wanted to share.